better for everything, right? You start before you're ready, and then you build upon upon the process, right? And so this episode, we got a really good episode because we're fresh off of the car show, the DeMaio Super Car Show that took place this Saturday at the Abilene Convention Center or the Civic Center, right? And so, man, we're excited to give you our feedback and just kind of share the experience that we had with you guys. And so yeah, we're getting ready to get into that. My wife, you ready with your microphone? I'm gonna go live here on TikTok. Um, that way we can make sure our TikTok family is ready. And so we're using a live streaming app called Riverside. And the problem that we're having right now is that we can't connect all of our social medias to this because they have different rules that they go by. So TikTok, welcome to the live stream. This is the live stream of the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday, and so we're doing what we can with what we have. I hear people like influencers on YouTube. They say just hit record, just get it going, just get started, and then you'll figure it out along the way, which is good because that's how I pretty much do anything, right?
Yeah.
Right, baby? So just figure it out on the way. Just get something going, and then improve, make minor adjustments along the way, and kind of go from there. So this Saturday, uh, friends of ours at Premier Auto Customs put on a car show for the community, and we were invited to set up a booth to represent our company, Red Alpha Custom Prints, and in which we did. We had a booth out there. We met a lot of people. Had some things on display. We had two vehicles on display. One was the Camaro color change wrap that we did for Larry Brickner, and then we had Veterans Roofing. We had their commercial. It was a partial wrap that we did for their truck. It was on display as well. So shout out to Larry and Vincent with Veterans Roofing. Thank you guys for making time to display your vehicles. And man, that was actually pretty cool. To
Yeah,
have a
it
couple
was.
people that were willing to display their vehicles and have us display them. Which was pretty cool. So there's a lot of things that we learned through this process, and that was actually one of the conversations that I had with Bone with Premier Auto. Is like, we learned, this was a learning experience, right? So it was a first time show for him, but I was really impressed at all the things that he was able to put together, all the people that he brought together to be able to bring this show. And man, it was amazing. So we're broadcasting live on our Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead and bring our Facebook page here. That way you can also, you don't have your phone on you, do you?
Yeah.
Bring your phone so that way you can look at our page as well. And so if you guys are tuning in on Facebook, my wife will be the admin, and she'll be able to answer any of your questions that you may have. I see we got some people that are coming in on TikTok as well. TikTok, make sure you follow us, make sure you add us, share, comment, all of that stuff, because this helps us with our TikTok channel, TikTok page, so that we can actually meet the requirements to be able to stream live. We're able to do live streaming like from my phone and all that stuff, but to be able to connect it to an app like Riverside, I guess we got to get more followers or more interactions or do more live stream time. I don't know. Just a bunch of rules and hoops that we got to run through. So y'all know that I don't feel I'm not really all about that stuff. But if you guys can help us also on LinkedIn, if you're following us on our Facebook page, or if you're following us on TikTok, go to our LinkedIn profiles, the Red Alpha Custom Prints Abilene, and follow us there, because I do know that LinkedIn wants us to have at least 150 active followers on LinkedIn to be able to connect to this Riverside. I'm not sure about TikTok. We got to get like a user key or a stream key or something like that. So still working on that. But if you are someone who actually does live streaming a lot and you got some advice for us, feel free to put it in the comments, and we'll reply. We'll read it and reply, and hopefully implement some good advice to be able to do one live stream from one camera going to all our social media channels. That's the goal. But before we get into the main conversation of our segment today, I have to remind you guys that it can't be a Mugshot Monday uh, without talking about our mugs. And so today, I chose the classic left-handed Red Alpha Mugshot Monday coffee mug. Check that out. If you guys want one, comment in the section and let us know where we need to ship it, and then we'll work something out. I don't know if we could do it for free, but maybe we can do it at a discounted price, right? So just let us know if you're interested in a Red Alpha Mugshot Monday coffee mug. Connect with us, and then we'll do whatever we got to do to make sure that you do it. But make sure that whenever you get it, that you actually tune in on the next one, on the next episode, or tag us on Facebook or any social media channel that we're connected, and just let us know that you're actually following us and that we're saying something that you guys are interested in, right? And so that's the Red Alpha branded, the Mugshot branded coffee mug. Just drinking some black silk dark coffee from Folgers. Is it from Folgers?
Yeah.
From Folgers, and there's nothing fancy about it. It just does the job. It's strong dark coffee, just the way that I like it. I don't add any of the foo-foo. No creamer or sugar or none of that stuff. Just straight black to wake me up and possibly degrease my engine if I ever need it. It's that strong. What coffee mug did you choose?
It's the one from San Antonio. The colors, it's got like iridescent. No,
Man, was that wrapped by Red Alpha?
no, it's just a nice mug. I like the color scheme.
What does it say on it?
Um,
Chubby unicorns. Save the chubby
it's
unicorns.
from the rhinos.
Yeah, the rhinos. Okay, when you went to the zoo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And so yeah, we got a new chat message. Uh-oh, ding. Somebody messaged us on the chat. I need a bell, public chat. Who is that? Reply to them if you can. Looks like Christine is coming in on the
my
live stream.
spectacles.
You should be able to message her
Okay.
right there, and if you can. And so yeah, so my wife, when was it, last month or the month after, she went to the zoo and she got her coffee mug and yeah, she's now she's representing. Thank you, Christine, for messaging us. My wife is replying to you now. See, we're getting all fancy now. It's not just recording and taking out the background with the green screen. We're trying to do a little bit better, right? But yeah, so those are our coffee mugs. As you guys may know, the way that this podcast started is because of our passion for coffee. I mean, we drink 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, coffees a day, right? I'm at least 3, but they're big. So the actual coffee mug says 10, so it's really 10 cups of coffee that we're drinking between the both of us, and me, the majority of it is coming from me, but it's 3 big old mugs, coffee mugs a day that I drink, but I drink it black, no sugar or cream or anything like that, unless it's on a Friday. If it's on a Friday, I tell my wife, make me one of those, fancy coffees, so that way I can feel fancy on a Friday. Fancy Fridays, right? But other than that, it's gonna be black, and so it started on Facebook where every Monday I would just take a picture, with the coffee mug that I was drinking out of, and just sharing it with my followers or friends really on Facebook, and then I'd have a little quote or just something that I was thinking about, because like I said last week or the last episode, it almost seems like I take on the personality of the coffee mug, right? And so if I got the red Alpha mugshot, then it's all about the branding of the podcast. But if I have the one that says God is good, that I'm kind of making sure that I don't screw up, because I want to make sure that I represent God to the fullness when I'm drinking that mug. And sometimes it's just a plain red one that just kind of helps me to get back, in focus and keep the main thing, right? And so I'll drink that. I don't know. Are you kind of like that whenever you get a coffee mug? It's like, do you like how much thought do you put into getting the coffee mug and why you want to have it that particular day?
Yeah, I do. I kind of think about like, well, I usually have my mugs where, it's a show, or my abuela mugs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those are like, yeah, I'm gonna do the abuela mug because that's how I feel today, or I'm thinking about our grandkids,
Hmm.
or a show or whatever. The color, I like the colors.
Yeah.
I gravitate to the color schemes too. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. So it's like it's not just the random cup. Like I try not to make the decision like being all, just waking up. Right.
yeah.
I look at it, I brew the coffee, I got my morning routine, where it's like I do a blog post on our Facebook page, I mean on our website. And so I'll go through and I'll do that while the coffee is brewing, and then I come back and then I look at the coffee mugs, all of our coffee mugs, and I'm like,
All 65
all
of them.
65. We got 65?
Almost.
Yeah, 65 coffee mugs that I got to choose from, but most of the time it's going to be the same handful, right? Because you know how that is, running a business and washing 65 mugs every week is just not feasible for the owner operator, right? But so usually it'll be, it just kind of makes sense for me to have the Mugshot Monday one on our Mugshot Monday podcast. But every now and then I want to say something a little bit different. Sometimes like my shirt right here, everything that we're wearing is branded material that we print from Red Alpha. My wife's got the gray version of the Keep It Wrap Food design. We actually had, we were suited up this weekend with our Keep It Wrap Food shirts. And so of course, if you guys seen our booth, we put in a lot of work to get the design right, and have our table throw and all of that stuff. So it's pretty cool on that. So what's up, TikTok? What's up? Was great. Thanks for that. Who wrote that?
Me.
Oh, you did that? I guess I
I
need
just
some
said-
glasses.
I just said great. Thanks for the info, because Christine let us know.
Oh, that she's on?
She let us know that because you asked about TikTok not letting us do something.
Oh, so she was giving us some.
She said it should be based off followers. I believe it depends on how many followers you have, and so I just told her great. Thanks for that info.
Yeah. Yeah, and so follow us. Share us with your friends and your followers and things like that. If you follow us, we'll follow you. That type of deal. And so that way I think on TikTok you have to have 1,000 followers, but one thing that there was some special thing that they were doing. It's like that I registered for. It's like even though I didn't have all the followers that I needed, they allowed me to start doing live stream like this right here. And so there's those rules right there for live streaming. And so the same thing with YouTube. We have to have a certain amount of followers there or subscribers. And so we met the first level requirements for each platform. But there's a key that we have to enter for TikTok, because we're streaming on our YouTube page as well, our Facebook and our YouTube page. So we just need TikTok to come on board, LinkedIn as well. Y'all LinkedIn guys, follow us, share us with your people. If you follow us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn. That way we can meet those. So now we can broadcast, all over the place and not just a couple of social media channels. But Christine, thank you for that. We'll definitely look into that. We appreciate it. So getting to the car show, man, we were just talking about it today. We're like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use it as a learning experience for us. Meeting, just showing up yourself as a company. There's a lot of work that goes into that, coordinating the times and where are we gonna set up, and what vehicles are we gonna be able to display. How many guests that you're looking at having, and that whole process. It's like it really does take a team to get there. And then once you get there, this was our first car show. This is actually our first event that we did, so it was all a new experience for us. And so you can go up in there with the best plan, but then now the reality hits, and you realize that maybe you didn't have the space that you thought you were going to have, or maybe you got more space than you thought, and you're like, man, I could have had this, I could have had that. Or like us, we were waiting on packages that we that we needed to be able to print some of the things that we had committed to print and wanted to print. And then those didn't show up. So we were calling audibles, in the middle of trying to execute our plan to show up. And, and so those are things that are, that's actually a behind the X's and O's types conversation of all the things that go on behind the scenes that you have to do to prepare to put on a decent show. And we weren't even putting on the show. We were just a sponsor of the show, and we were just showing up as our business. But I started looking at that. I was like, man, imagine having to do all of that. And I got to give a shout out to Bone because he did it with grace. I didn't see him lose his stuff. Man, there were some things that we committed to him that we weren't able to follow through on, and I was like, oh man, I'm sorry, because all this whole time I was saying, yeah, we're gonna do it, and we'll be there, we're gonna make it, and we'll make sure you have all this and that, and then it didn't happen, and so that's one thing, having those uncomfortable conversations, and but then you still got to show up. You still got to show up because it's like that would be even more of a tragedy. It's like making all these commitments and then letting those little things, keep you from going. Looks like we got another message from Christine. What did she say?
I have to put on my spectacles.
Keep your spectacles on because
y'all did amazing. I'm so excited about the custom hood wrap. Oh yeah.
Hey.
She's the one that won the hood wrap.
Hey. So
Thanks, Christine.
Congratulations. Make sure that you message us so that way we can start working on your design and all of that stuff. We'll definitely follow through on that. Yeah. And so shout out for the people who won. We were raffling off 3 print items. One was a custom hood wrap, which Christine was the winner of that one. And then we had a custom tailgate, and then we had a custom rear window. And so we announced those, and I believe all the winners were there, right?
Yeah, one wasn't.
Okay, so two of the 3 winners were actually at the show, so they were able to claim it. And so we'll be touching base with the other person that won. And then for those of you guys who entered into the raffle, we got something special for you guys. Check your emails here by tomorrow or the next day. We're going to send out a special thing for you guys, just letting you know that we appreciate you for participating. We had I don't know, it was over 40, maybe about 40 something
40.
Submissions, and so man, that just made us feel good because if we didn't have any, then nobody wants to get our thing. Who messaged us? Bone, what's going on? What did he say?
He said, I think everything happened just as it was supposed to. LOL. Oh no, supposed to. Sometimes the lessons are better than.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to wear my spectacles.
You got them on.
I know, but it's still kind of small.
Lessons are better than that. That's right. So yeah, we took this as a lesson for sure. What can we do better? We had like a good 30 to 45 minute meeting prior to this right here, and we were like, okay, car show. What did we do good? What did we do bad? And that's how we kind of look at it. It's like, don't let the things that you did wrong like shadow or override the things that went right. Because at the end of the day, there was a car show. At the end of the day, we showed up. And at the end of the day, there were people that were there. And so we made some good connections. And man, I was proud of Bone for everything that he did. And we are looking forward to the next one. We got a whole year to plan for the next one, and we want to be there to represent that. And so it's just it was a good experience. It was a learning experience. And so we're just going to do our best to be better for the next one right here. And so we it was just kind of a good vibe. I mean, we had the Kid Frost and the Lighter Shade of Brown playing, and man, y'all saw I took some pictures with some Lokes because there was a vendor across from us that I got to know that he was from Dallas that we just kind of hit it off and went over there. I said I'm gonna support this guy, and went and got me some Lokes and I was like, you gotta wear some Lokes whenever they're playing Lighter Shade of Brown and Kid Frost. Took me back to my old days, back in the '90s when I was actually stationed out there in California at Fort Irwin. It took me back to those days because the lowrider scene I think that was the height, in my opinion, Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, especially if you're with Royalty Car Club and Legacy. You guys showed out at the show this past weekend, and forgive me for anybody else that I didn't know of, right? But I know Royalty and Legacy were represented there, and so, but the '90s, the early '90s was the, like, to me it was like the pinnacle of the lowrider scene, man, and you just could not help to be a part of that. And whenever I was stationed out there, it was in Southern California, right? And so I spent a lot of time in the Los Angeles area, West Covina. I had a friend that was he was a gang investigator for the West Covina, I'm sorry, the Baldwin Park Police Department. And so he took me on a couple of ride-alongs, and I thought for a moment that I wanted to do that. Whenever I was stationed out there, I thought that I wanted to join, the police force and be a gang investigator, because it was just awesome. I was a 20-year-old kid and just going out on these things and watching him just talk to these gang members and these, like, people of the night, having these conversations. I remember there's one uncomfortable conversation that I had with the lady of the night while he was over there arresting somebody, and I was sitting in the side, and I was like, I felt scared. I felt scared because I was a young kid, and this woman comes up to me and, like, telling me things that my little old ears had never heard before.
Your innocent ears.
My innocent ears had never heard that stuff before. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, let me pull out my Bible, right? And so it's just a different experience. But man, that whole like decade, really the early '90s was just really awesome. The lowrider scene, the gangster rap that came out at that time. The tattoo culture. It was an awesome. I got a couple of tattoos because of that. I got the cross with the smile now, cry later, and it was just, you had to do it if you were in the army and you were out there. You know what I'm talking about, man. You had to get that type of black ink. And if you're a tattoo artist, we got several tattoo artists that are part of our community. They're friends of Red Alpha. They're customer of ours and friends of ours. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It was just a whole, like the kids say, it was a whole vibe back then. And so I was stationed out there. I mean, during the riots, we were a bunch of kids. We wanted to go out there. I don't know what we were gonna do, but me and a few of our friends were like, man, we should go out there and just do what we can, and so I don't know if I was gonna be part of the looters or if I was gonna keep people from I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna wear a mask if we go, because I'm not, I can't really trust myself to make the right decision right now. It's like, I mean, you think that you're gonna do the right thing, but then as soon as somebody hits you or blindsides you, you're gonna revert to your instincts. So I might have gone out there with all the right intentions, but then somebody hits me with a big screen television or something like that. I mean, I may have to react, from my, where I was born and raised, it's over there on Congress Street. I was gonna have to turn into a Congress Street wildcat. But yeah, so the car show, the lowriders that were there, man, it was it was just some beautiful cars, some friends of ours that were displaying. Royalty Car Club was in, I don't know if that's full strength, but it was, you guys represented well. And thank you guys for taking the time to take a picture with us at our booth. And we were fresh off of winning the best rap of show. And so, I'm proud about that. And so I got the belt. I didn't bring it with me, but that is going to be up in our shop, and it's something that I'm going to proudly display at every car show that we do, and then we're getting ready for the next one. What else can we say about the De Mayo, the Mayo car show?
Just all the people that we saw. I mean, it was great just seeing all families come in with their kids playing, and it was just a good time. Good time.
Yeah, I miss that. Because, guys, if you don't know, it's like, even though you may not have seen us at the shows or the events and, all of these things that go on in the community, you haven't seen our face, but you have seen our company, right? We're printing banners. We're, you know, a lot of the things that you see at some of these things, people are coming to us so that we can print for these events. We sponsor different things with banners and you know we do signage and stuff like that. And so a lot of the things that you see at these shows were printed by us, Red Alpha Custom Prints. But the sad thing about it is we're up late trying to get these things ready for other people that we don't really have time to do our own. But now we got our own setup. So we got our own setup, and so now it should be a little bit easier because now we're not just printing for other people. We've got our stuff printed, and so now it's just make sure that we execute our plan, right? And so we're definitely going to get better at that. We're looking forward to the next show, which is the World of Builds. And so we're going to take what we learned on this one right here, and then we're going to try to represent a little bit better for the World of Builds, you know, which is at the end of June, June 27th, if I'm not mistaken, 26th, 27th. You know, and so we're going to just try to get a little bit better at that. Hopefully this time we'll have Red One wrapped, and so we'll have our own vehicle. I mean, we had customers of ours, you know, that we wrapped, which is cool. You know, but we want to have our own car because, like I said, in the we're doing the live stream, just kind of getting people to like raising awareness of the car show. So I had Bone and I had Andre with the Salvation Army that he's really like an awesome influencer in the community. And so I was just talking about the need to actually, you know, if you're going to a car show, it'd be a good idea to have your own car there, like your own car. And so I was I felt a little uncomfortable because we were given the award for, you know, for the Camaro, which was a color change wrap, but that's not my personal vehicle. And so when I had the belt, I was handing that over to Larry, and I was like, here you go, man. And he was like, no, he said, that's yours, it's your work. And I said, well, what are the rules here?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I said, you know, like if whoever won the best of show in the paint, right? You know, usually it's they paint it or they have somebody paint it, but it's their vehicle,
yeah.
right? So the award goes to the owner of the vehicle,
the owner.
right? And so I think Larry was just being a good guy and like, no, here you go, you go ahead and take it. And I said, okay, well, if you're gonna display the car at another show, you know, make sure you take the belt because it's something that, you know, it's an award.
Yeah.
It's a major award. It's a major award, right? It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna make a big deal out of it, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna wear it, you know, I'm gonna wear it everywhere we go, just to let people know that I won an award. Even whenever I went up and got it, I was like, man, I never won anything before in my life. And that's not true. I have won some things, but I'm also the type of guy that don't play a lot of stuff. Like I don't do a lot of raffles. I don't do the lottery. I don't do none of that stuff. So I don't call into the radio show whenever they have, you know, the trivia or anything like that. So, you know.
I used to do that back in the day.
Yeah?
I used to win a lot of stuff on
Really?
the radio.
Dang. See, I'm not that type of person because I'm like, I'm not going to call in the show to try to win this and therefore I don't win stuff, right? But
Yeah, this was like 30 years ago.
back when it was cool to do
When
that,
it was
right?
cool to do,
Mhm.
to call in and dial, redial.
Oh man, you remember back in the day when you had to do that? I remember whenever. So back in the day, this is for all you youngsters out there. You know, if you want to call the radio station and request a song, and it's like, you know, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna dedicate this song to this girl, this guy that I'm into, or whatever. You know, and so you'd make the request, and then you'd listen. You know, to see if they actually
Yeah.
remembered or wrote you down. You know, it's like we used to be able to do that. And then the way that we used to record on tapes, right? We had cassette tapes, and we're recording the segment. You know, and it's like, yeah, believe it or not, there's the cassette tapes for those of you guys who were born and raised on the MP3 and MP4 format or the dot wave formats, right? You know, back in the day, you know, we had these little square objects that were called cassette tapes, and the cassette tape had like a brown little film that went on it that actually record, I guess, the signal of the song in it, right?
And there was music.
And there
on
was
it.
music on it, right? It was amazing to us, right? And so like if you had to hit rewind to get to your favorite song, you know, it's like, so how are you going to create the vibe or the mood when you're like, oh, hold on, let me hit
let me
rewind,
rewind,
and then
or
you got to fast forward
Fast
just to get to
forward
the spot,
to
right?
the right spot.
And so we used to do this with the radio stations, like, you know, it's like record that, and I mean, man, I remember recording shoot, KNON out over there in Grand Prairie or in Dallas, right? Because they would do all the freestyle music and the Latin hip hop, right? And so we hit record. We had tapes of stuff that were just like, recordings of the show, right? And so that was pretty cool. This was like, then they started going to CD, and we'd go to Traders Village out there to get the like just get the freestyle and stuff like that. And so all of this came back to mind whenever we were at the car show, and here they are playing Stevie B with Spring Love. I was
Yeah.
like, man, there's something going on with my mitochondria, 'cause, like, it was something in me that I was like, man, I just can't just sit here. Like I was like inadvertently it's like I couldn't control myself. I was like, man, there's something about this music that takes me back to the early 90s, back whenever life was good. It's like back when it was good, people can go to the park and have a barbecue and a picnic, and everybody's rolling up in your cars and music, and it's like, man, it was a great time. And so I was out in Southern California with this time, and it was a great time. Most of the stuff I've already forgotten, but all I remember is how I felt.
Yeah.
Felt good to do that. So, man, it was cool. Who else messaged us? Bing. We need a signal when someone messages. Keep those spectacles on. Let's see. It is Ray. Yo, good morning.
Ray,
Yeah, what's up, Ray?
good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This makes me feel special when we got some people messaging us. So, so the car show. So what we had, we wanted to give away some stuff, and so my wife had the idea of some candy, right? So we had a big old bowl of candy, and honestly, I didn't know how it was gonna go. I was like, we don't have. We had some squeegees that we were hoping that we're going to be ready on time so that we can give some squeegees with our Rat Food Academy. So we had some of that stuff like that, and so we had a bunch of business cards that we had. We designed a special business card for the show, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But so we had a couple of things to kind of get people to come to our show, and of course the vehicles that we had on display. But the candy was the biggest hit. Good job on that. I was eating them myself, but we had some people come in and, oh, I'm just here for the candy. No
Nobody
big deal.
can resist a free bowl of candy.
That's right. We had several people come by just to pick up the candy. We had one of the kids with private reserve detailing. His little boy kept coming by, and he was like, hey, how much is it for the
Yeah.
candy?
Is it free?
Is
Do I
it-
have to pay for it?
Yeah, that's what he said. I said, no, man, go ahead. That's, knock
couldn't
yourself
believe it.
out.
Couldn't
And-
believe it.
And so we haven't had kids like that in a long time, man. We
Yeah.
have grandkids that are just a little younger, right? And like our oldest grandson is 4 years old, so we haven't had to be responsible parents, to kids that age, right? So I didn't even think about the fact that he might have an upset stomach a little bit later
Yeah.
on, that he may not go to sleep right away, and so I didn't want his parents mad at me. But I did tell Leroy, I was like, hey man, I just want to let you know he came by. Got a bunch of candy. I don't know how much he ate or whatever, but just a little, if he don't go
Yeah.
to sleep right away, I apologize. 'Cause-
Yeah, next time we need to say, if your parents say yes, yes, you can have some.
yeah. So he was just coming and getting them, and then he did come back and give some back.
Yeah, he put some back.
So I imagine that he was like, his kid was like, his parents were like, no, go put that back. And so he put them back. He even gave me one too.
Aw.
He even gave me one. I said, oh no, go ahead and take it. I said, you don't like it? He's like, no, I do like it, but I wanted to give it to you. And it's like, what does that
that's so
message say right there?
People remember the brands who give away free items at shows. Great idea.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to give away more at the World of Builds. We'll figure out what resonates, right? Because it's like, if it's a car show, you want to maybe have some things that are related to the car show
Yeah.
that people like, right? For example, one of the booths that were outside was Napa, and so Napa, they had a bunch of tape. They had some adhesive promoter and some sandpaper. These are all things that people that work on their cars and detail their cars, they would want, right? And so when I heard that they were giving away stuff, I was like, man, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna grab me some tapes. And they were like, yeah, we got to get rid of all this stuff, So what is it that you do? And I started talking to them a little bit about, what we do. And so I found out that they have some supplies that we can use
Yeah.
as installers. Like the tape, they have some knifeless tape that we can use, which paint shops use for pinstriping,
Yeah.
right? And so we can use that knifeless tape whenever we're trimming around edges, or if we're doing something, where we don't want to put our actual blade on. The knifeless tape is something that we go with. So we've been using the 3M brand of knifeless tape, but
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna go out and check that out and see, what their knifeless tape's about. Put it to the test and see if it's, we can kind of support the local company
Local
with
companies, yeah, and
with
it's
our
always
supplies.
a good find whenever we find something local like that we need, because sometimes we don't have a chance to order, or we need it last minute, and it's always a good feeling to say, hey, I can just go right now and go pick it up.
Exactly. So we've gotten eraser wheels from. It used to be Abilene Color, and so we got some eraser wheels from them that we use whenever we have to, remove decals or badges. The tar or the
Yeah,
glue,
yeah.
and so we use eraser wheels for that, and so that's primarily what we would go to them for. But now that I know that they have I believe they have masking tape, and they have the painter's tape that we can use as well. But then now the knifeless tape is something that we can go to them for. And so if you're a representative of Napa, just know that you have a wrap shop, a print shop here locally that definitely wants to use stuff from you. I mean, so we use the 3M, adhesive promoter. Primer 94 is one that we use. We use tape all the time. We use knifeless tape all the time. We got our blades, squeegees, those things like that. Cleaning the vehicle prior to, those are things that we definitely have to have supplies for all the time. So if you're a detail shop out there, or if you supply supplies or details, make sure that it'd be nice to give us like a checklist or whatever. It's like, here's a list of supplies that we offer that I think that you guys might can use, right? Because all of these services are connected. Detailers, they come in and make sure that the vehicle is prepared, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so what we want to do is we want to come in as installers, right? So as the installer, we want to come in and we just want to install the vehicle. Like, we want to make sure that the door handles are removed, and the mirrors are removed. All of the things are removed, so that way us, the installer, can come in and just install, right? Well, so we're also the ones that are doing the design and the print, right? So, but those are other steps before the install. But once we actually have the vehicle, we want to make sure that it's ready, that everything's prepared so that we can just install. And then afterwards, right? I was talking to Leroy with Private Reserve, and this is for anybody out there that has a detail shop. One of the needs for what we want to do is whenever our customers pick up, we want to make sure that it's looking nice, right? And so a lot of times we're working 24 hours a day trying to get the vehicle out on time, right? And so we don't have the energy to make sure that the vehicle looks nice, right? But something like that, man, it just, to me, I think that it's just part of good customer service. It's something that we definitely want to do, but we are limited because we're just two people. And actually, we're looking to bring on a new installer. Tay, hang on, man. We're gonna get to work this week, all right? So if you're listening to us, man, be ready. Get your squeegee ready and get ready to get into the rap food, and because we're gonna do it, and so that's the thing that we had at the booth. Which Ray is it? Ray Soto?
Ray Soto.
Ray, what's up, man? Oh, I just saw Ray over here on
Yeah,
this screen.
because over
But
here it doesn't give us a last name, but on my phone it gives us who it is.
oh, okay, so
Yeah.
Ray Soto. Hey, Ray, definitely we know that you have a show coming up in August, if I'm not mistaken, and so we definitely want to be a part of that. Like I said, if you end up putting that together, count us in. as a banner sponsor for sure. We want to set up a booth. We want to. I actually got some business cards that look like trading cards, and so if you have us, we're going to have those trading cards, and they got QR codes that are going to take people, different
To the
places,
moon.
take them to the moon, right? And so we'll have something special for there. Our booth is probably going to still be the same, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll do special business cards, special giveaways for those kind of things, and some candy, especially
More candy.
for your customer base, right? And but speaking of QR codes, right? So we have a QR code that we used for on the back of our card that drove people to our new AI wrap builder, right? That's pretty cool. I mean, if you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, it's you go to our website. We built a website specifically for the car show, which is something that we're just gonna keep going and just kind of build on. But it's rawraps.redacp.com, right? So if you go to our main website, it's not going to take you there. Our main website is redacp.com, right? But our new website for our vehicle wraps is rawraps.redacp.com. And if you could put that in the messages, maybe we can do that, right? So the QR builder, the AI wrap builder, it's actually pretty cool. You could go in there, you could put in the year, make, and model of your vehicle, and then you kind of put in what colors that you like and text that you want. You could do it for a commercial vehicle or like a custom theme. You could type it in there, and then the AI is going to work at getting you like an AI concept, right? And so the reason why we did this is because a lot of our customers are doing that. They're going to ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or whichever one that they use, and they're sending us concepts that they created on using AI, which is awesome. We're not afraid of it. We got some skilled graphic designers that can recreate pretty much anything, and there are limitations to being able to get an exact recreation, but the concept is like, okay, so you want graphics to flow like this, you want your logo to be right here, and you want this information to be on your wrap. That I can't tell you how much back and forth that takes place just to get the concept down, right? And it's like, I wish that there was a way for me to kind of plug in to the customer's brain so that I can know exactly what they're thinking, right? It's like, well, so just tell me what you want, and then we'll do our best to recreate it, right? And so with the AI concepts, that kind of eliminates, a little bit of the back and forth. Because once we have a concept, once we have a vision, then it's a lot easier to get there than if we're just kind of shooting in the dark, right? So if you're our customer, what we ask and what we hope for is know what you want. Go out and get some references, either on Google or use, ChatGPT, or even better, go to our website and use the AI builder on our website, and then hit send to Red Alpha, and we'll get it, and at least we'll have kind of the foundation laid on the wrap process, right? And so you can also download it, and you can, if you download it, then you can enter it into your Chat GPT or your AI, and then say, hey, I like this, but maybe change these things, right? And then once you get it to the way that you kind of like it, then send it to us, and then we'll say we can do it or we can't do it, or we might have to modify it. But we use AI to kind of help the process. We're not trying to pretend that we're something that we're not. We do have human graphic designers that are that are on staff, if you want to call it. They're freelance graphic designers, but they have been designing exclusively for us. One group is like for 10 years, right? And the other designer is about 3 years, 4 years. But they're very capable. But we can't read minds, but we can look at a clear concept and we can do something with that, right? Let me get some water. Talk about something.
Yeah, so the weather was kind of nice. It was hot outside on Saturday, but we were inside in the convention center. It was it started getting a little cold. Actually, went and got a sweater,
Yeah.
a jacket, because I was a little bit cold in there.
Yeah. So while we were at the show, we had customers that were picking up, right? So we had one customer that was picking up her vehicle that my wife had to kind of go and deal with that, and then came back, and then we went and got some food
Yeah,
and,
got some
and got some
burritos.
burritos, and so we shout out to Rojas for the burritos,
Rojas.
always coming through,
Always.
and
Great
those
food.
burritos are second to none, right? And if you're following this and we gave you a shout out, I expect some free burritos. No, not really, not really. The shout outs are free. The shout outs are free. That's kind of what we do. If you're following us, you probably noticed that I make sure that I share your stuff, that I interact, and I kind of help promote your stuff. To me, it's the least that we can do, right? And so if I'm following you, I'm gonna share your stuff, and man, I'll hit invite so that everybody that's connected with me will follow your page and stuff like that, and so it's just kind of what we do. It's like just the way to go. It's the way to do it. And so, what else about the car show? Is there anything else that we can discuss that? I mean, it is something like I was saying is something that I miss interacting with people. It's like a lot of times with our business, it's like we don't see the people until they pick up, and then when they're picking up, they're on their way to something else, right? So they can't. I'm sitting there just about to really get into the conversation. And like, all right, man, well, I gotta go. And I'm like, man, I had so much life that I was gonna speak into you. I'm gonna pray for you or something. And it's like I don't get to have those real conversations as often as I could, right? But that whenever you come across people that you have established a long relationship with, like the ones that we had with Taz and with Royalty Car Club, it's good to see those people there, and man, it just felt good to talk to them, and to kind of like let whoever would listen know that these guys are day one customers.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember, printing T-shirts late in the night. We were using vinyl, so we were weeding the vinyl, and the car show, was Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And so we're up late at night, like trying to get the orders ready, man. And it's like weeding vinyl, and I'm so thankful for the new processes
Yeah,
that
me
we
too.
have, because it's like it's not that stuff. But I was like, man, this is not good. There has to be a better way. And it's not that there wasn't a better way. It's technology wasn't where it's at now,
Yeah.
right? And so the direct to garment and direct to film, those processes weren't around 15 years ago, right? And that's how long Royalty has been doing business with
Yeah.
us. So we have printed for them, their kids, and I want to say that one of the grandkids actually, we printed some shirts, or like they got some grandkids that are being born that we printed the Royalty logo on, and that's kind of cool. It's like some generational stuff, and we're still doing stuff with Royalty, which that means the world, man. They're part of the community that we serve, and we love just being a part of that. So Royalty, if you guys are doing a car show, hit us up. We definitely want to be a part of it in some way. And I think I could get into these shows.
Yeah.
I just
It's
don't know.
fun.
I
It's
just don't
fun.
know if I can be the one to do it all. It's like we want to set up the booth, and I want to be the guy talking and like just talking to people.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one having to be there. So at the booth.
Yeah, the booth.
Because we couldn't go really like talk to the
No.
people, it's like we have to sit there close to our booth and make sure that Leroy's son didn't eat all our candy, But yeah, no, that was so fun. It was him and a few other kids that they were like,
Yeah.
they would come get it, and they were like, "Are you sure that it's okay?" And I was like, "Hey, the stomach ache is on you. If you want to eat it, go for it."
Yeah,
But
we love watching the kids just have a good time there.
yeah, it was so fun. Even that little boy, was like, he said, this is, we work here, right? Because he saw the happy face from Premier Auto,
Oh,
the
yeah,
logo.
yeah.
He's like, hey, that's our shop, and I was like, yeah, that is. And so he was trying to make the connection. He's like, do you work with us, or do we work for you? Like, he was just kind of like that, and so that's pretty cool, making the connection. We got a chance to see Robert Trevino. He graced us all with his award-winning, world famous motorcycle La Chara was up
Yeah.
there on display. And man, if you haven't seen that video, this is my first time seeing it up
Yeah,
front,
yeah.
right? And so seeing the craftsmanship that went into building that motorcycle is just something that if you're into this kind of thing, or even if you're not into this scene, you have to appreciate the level of craftsmanship
Yeah.
that goes into building
The
something like that.
detail on it
The
was
detail,
amazing.
man, it was amazing. There's no wonder why they won the best in paint and all that stuff. I'm sure that they do that all over the place. From my understanding, it had just made it back to Abilene after being in a museum for the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
And so Robert was telling me, he said, I haven't even really, displayed it anywhere because it's been at the museum for the last 3 or 4 years.
oh wow.
And so you don't just get into a museum,
Yeah.
with something that's not like high level, right? And so immediately when we got there, I was like, we need to step up our game. Right, we need to step up our game. If we're going to display something, we need to make sure that we level up, and that's what we plan on doing with Red One. It's like we gotta do something just extraordinary that's going to catch people's attention, and that's going to represent us, at a higher level. Like I said, I do have a design, but I might rethink it to do something that's like really crazy. We'll see how it goes. I think for the next show, we're just going to have to go with what's already printed and what we have, so that way we don't put that stress on ourselves, to try to, do something different. Let's just go with what we got and then build upon it, right? But yeah, how many of you guys got a chance to take some pictures or at least shake hands with the folks that, Robert Trevino, those guys? That was that was amazing. I took a lot of pictures and I posted them on social media. And speaking of social media, if you came by our booth and you took a selfie with our mascot Reddy, he was that little the A. Like if you look back here on our logo, right up there, that A, we basically animated the A and created a character out of it. I call him Reddy.
Ready.
And so Reddy. Here's a fun fact. So if you call into our business, the 313-5110 or the 238-5445, if you call any of those numbers and my wife and I are unable to answer the phone, guess who's going to answer the phone? It's going to be Reddy.
Ready.
He's our AI agent. And so what I did is I brought him out of the Matrix. So now he's actually a physical person that you can take a selfie with, right? And if you take that selfie and then you share it on social media and tag us, right, we will do something special for you too. Like probably say thank you for sharing it. Maybe a little bit more than that. We still got some butterscotch candies. We might let you come get some candy or something like that. But no, maybe a discount on something. We'll throw in an extra shirt in your order, or if you order 250 business cards, maybe we'll give you 500. That kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
If you order one thing, we might give you two. Or just a 10% discount, whatever the case may be. Just know that when you show us love, we try to show you love right back, and that's just the way we do it, right? So Reddy was there. He's going to be a staple piece, I think, of our show.
Yeah.
And man, we had some room where the Royalty Car Club came and took the pictures behind our table, which I didn't even think about that. I was like, let's do it in front of, but it was Anthony with Royalty. He's like, you want to do it right here? And it was just a perfect spot to take a
Yeah.
picture, right? And so
It's a backdrop, so.
it's a backdrop, yeah. So we just need to take that into consideration, like whenever we're, where are we going to take pictures whenever people want to take pictures, or where we're going to place Reddy so that they could do selfies, and what are we going to do when they take selfies, right?
Yeah,
It's like I was thinking that maybe we needed kind of like a little thought bubble or whatever, a little speech bubble, for him, so that he could say, "Hey, take a selfie with me,"
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatever, or a separate sign or something like that, so that people just don't look at him. I had to tell, "Hey, take a selfie," and but it's like little things like that. The tent display, from the canopy to the table cover to the backdrop, all of those are items that we print and that we provide, and so I wanted to have a little sign that said that. Maybe a QR code that goes to the listing that we have on our website, so that you guys can submit your inquiries and maybe place an order, like right there from the show, right? Then also on the vehicles that we had on display, having a little sign as well that, I actually printed this one for Larry Brickner. It's like it was an 18 by 24 sign that said, here's the before and after. This is the owner. This is the material that we use. This is the color. All of that stuff. So I thought about all that, but having time, like it came down to crunch time, and I said, okay, it's printed, but I don't have time to mount it. I don't have time to laminate it and all that stuff. So we just had to roll with what we had ready, and so we showed up to the best as we could, right? And then now we're ready for the next one, right? But I think that's all about the car show. Is there anything else? If you participated, once again, if you participated in the raffle and you didn't win, just know that we have something special for you. Check your email. We're gonna be sending that out probably by tomorrow, and make sure you respond to that so that way you can claim the offer. We're gonna do something special for you guys too. For those of you who won, make sure you check your emails or your Facebook page. Because we're going to be messaging you guys to make sure we start with the design concept, and then whenever we do it, we're going to record, we're going to take some pictures and stuff like that. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle that we try to do and follow. Make sure that we get the attention and promoting this stuff on social media. So hopefully, if you're a business, we could do something special for you. That deal. But the last thing that we did. That I wanted to talk about is, so we did a live stream, prior to the show. It was on Thursday, and so I invited, Bone will premiere, and then Andre with Salvation Army. So for the next show, what I'd like to do is something similar to that, but then get more participation. It's like if you're a representative of a car club and you'd like to come on, talk about your car club, or if you're a sponsor or a vendor of the event and you'd like to do that, we'll host it right here. All of your peoples are going to see it. All of our people, your peoples are going to see us, and then our people are going to see you, and then we're just going to be one happy family, like just helping each other, right? But the live stream is a good thing for us to kind of do prior to the show. I thought that was a good thing.
Yeah.
And shout out to me, pat on the back for me for thinking about that. But it's one of the things that we should do to kind of promote the shows before then. And then while we're there, we need some representatives to kind of go and do like an interview, of the people who are there. So we're gonna need some people, some reporters for the Plug Nickel Press. The Red Alpha Plug Nickel Press needs to represent at the next car show, so that way we're kind of, we're down on the ground, getting all the what is it called, the scuttlebutt. We're getting the scuttlebutt of the show. And did I say that right?
Yes.
We're getting all the scuttlebutt.
That is a word, a real word.
That is a real word. Look it up, scuttlebutt, and see how smart I am. And or if you're a fan of The Office.
Fan of The Office, you know what we mean.
That's right. Let's go get the scuttlebutt. But yeah, we're gonna be better prepared. We're gonna try to do a little bit more, and that's all we can do is just kind of take what we did, learn from it, do a little bit better, and then know where your limit is. Right? Don't overpromise and underdeliver like what we did. Try to promise at a right level, so that way you don't have to rely on people's grace. But those of you guys who gave us grace, we thank you. We appreciate you. We're not going to rest until we do something to let you know how we appreciate you. Shout out once again to Premier Auto Customs with Bone Perez. You did an excellent job. Zay Pacino for being the host. Chupacabra, the radio station that was out there, that was providing the music and the show. We thank all of the artists that showed up, and all the vendors that were out there and sponsors, and of course the audience that was there, the people who showed up. On behalf of Red Alpha, on behalf of the promoters of the show, we want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in today to the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast. We'll be back again on Monday, and stay tuned for a new segment that I'm going to be running here within the next month or two. It's going to be the Behind the X's and O's podcast, where I'm hoping to invite business owners to talk about stuff that maybe you don't hear about at your local seminars. Stuff that goes on behind the scenes that all of us owner operators or business owners or entrepreneurs deal with, and sometimes we don't have somebody to talk to about. But that's it for now. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next time. That's Ruben and the Roopster and Baby Doll for Red Alpha Mugshot Monday signing off.
Red Alpha out.